Hey everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast for Monday, April 13th, 2020. Alright, so today we have the moon shifting from healing Ophiuchus, where the moon was yesterday on Sunday, going into more expansive Sagittarius here on Monday. So themes likely today around expanding our horizons, maybe mentally, which could be good for things like philosophy or spirituality, but also maybe even quite literally, adventure and expanding our literal horizons can be great as well. Now going into tomorrow, the sun starts to square up to Pluto, so we could feel a bit of deeper energy coming about, which can make it a very constructive early part of the week for personal transformation, facing fears, self-empowerment, and in this way it does become a very constructive time. All right, so let's take a look at all this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Monday. And again, we are using the actual size of the constellations called true Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, and especially if you notice some of the signs that I'm mentioning are different, be sure to check out the link down below for more information. All right, so let's take a look here at the moon's placement, which represents the theme of the day and what's really good to cultivate this phase of the lunar month. The phase that we're entering into is the third quarter phase, which makes it a great early part of the week to challenge ourselves to integrate any shifts of awareness that we've had a week ago. A week ago, we had that full moon, which may have been some awareness coming in, maybe some shifts and changes, and it's been a good time of implementing these things, and especially here this week as well. So Sagittarius, the centaur, has to do with expanding our horizons. We could notice themes today around things like maybe discussing philosophy or higher perspectives, more of the abstract realms with Sagittarius, and maybe even quite literally expanding our horizons, maybe going for some adventurousness, maybe some hikes, things that do expand our literal horizons could be really good to develop as well. So this is in the context, of course, that the Sun and Mercury are still in receptive Pisces. So the larger context of the month is about having more peace in life, more wholeness, more spiritual receptivity. And so still a really good time to be focused on what's important to us on a soul level or spiritual level, and see how we can be more receptive to life, have more peace, inner well-being, right? Things like this really good to develop at this time. So going into tomorrow, we do start to enter into the Sun square Pluto within 1 degree. And that's going to go exact tomorrow. So it could be a very transformative early part of the week, generally speaking. The sun represents our vital life force and our essential state of being in this square up to Pluto, which represents depth and transformation. So as the day unfolds, we could start to feel that deeper energy, maybe reviewing life through a bit of a deeper lens. Could be a great time for things like healing, personal empowerment, facing fears, personal transformation. In fact, by the end of this, there will likely be some aspect where we can personally transform in our lives. And the way to do that with Pluto is to see what is most deeply important to us on a deeper level. What are we attached to? And how can we practice that non-attachment? Because it's through being non-attached that we're able to change and transform. And Pluto has this sort of nature of stripping away all of our attachments. So a great way of working with the day as the day unfolds is to approach things with more non-attachment, with more of a willingness to dive deep and do things maybe in the face of any fears or inhibitions, which can be personally transformative. Or if there's just deep desires in terms of changes you feel like you need to make or want to make in your life, could be a very constructive week to do that. It's usually these squares that then sort of give us a good push to transform at times when we normally maybe wouldn't do those things. So it can be super personally transformative, super empowering, and very constructive way of working with the day, whether this is for you in your personal life, in relationships, in your careers, whatever the area is, could be really good to implement into tomorrow. So that's definitely the most important thing going on here today. One thing I do want to mention about that Pluto is that, of course, this is part of a lot of the collective transformations that we are seeing collectively since January's Saturn conjunct Pluto. So the sun will be squaring all of these outer planets one by one, starting first with Pluto here, and then soon to be Jupiter early this week, and then Saturn, and then eventually Mars. So this is really good for seeing maybe the 3-month status check for what has been transforming both personally and collectively in our life. And how can we, again, do this in constructive ways? You know, these outer planets, although they can be a little more challenging to work with, they are, of course, for our personal growth and development. So really good time this week into next to see how we can personally develop and how we can maybe do some constructive things with this collective transformation and restructuring that's been taking place collectively. All right, everyone, so that's the day in a nutshell. Most important thing here is this Sun square Pluto, personal empowerment, anything that does require diving deep in healthy and constructive ways, also practicing vulnerability, trust, depth, and uncovering hidden things in constructive ways with non-attachment can be a great way of working with that. The theme today is around expanding our perception, though, especially with Pluto and Sag still close to Jupiter as well. But here with the moon in Sagittarius, how can we expand our horizons, either mentally or literally, which brings in a bit of that spirited fire energy of Sag, and the larger context around greater receptivity. How can we find peace with things in our life, have more acceptance, and do what's important to us on a soul level? All right, so everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you again so much for all of your support, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next daily forecast. Take care.